questions. Question orale. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Here we go, everybody.
We learned today that David Johnston's report was not only written by a former family friend and former member of the Trudeau family, of Trudeau Foundation, but that an assistant who helped is a Liberal donor. David Johnston hired Liberal and New Democrat consultants to help with public communications. Can we finally put an end to the charade, Mr. Speaker, and trigger an actual public inquiry? The Right Honourable Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, while the Leader of the Conservatives continues his unfounded attacks against the former Governor-General and his team, he claims that he wants the real answers. All he has to do is to accept the top secret briefing that was offered to him, offered by our intelligence bodies, to understand what is happening when it comes to foreign interference. But he refuses, Mr. Speaker, to do so because he prefers to remain in the shadow of ignorance, to continue to simply do unfounded attacks, personal attacks and partisan attacks. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition
was forced to remain behind a veil of ignorance by his own admission today. He said that he was not aware of information that the former Conservative leader already knew about the government in Beijing spreading disinformation using state organs. This is on top of learning today that Mr. Johnston hired a lifelong Liberal donor who was at a fundraiser with the leader of the Liberal Party just 2 years ago. In addition to other Liberal consultants and NDP strategists to do damage control, will we put an end to the act and fire this rapporteur and call a public inquiry now?
That's what everybody wants. Let's see how he doesn't answer.
Speaker, let me read a quote on the former Governor General. I think we're dealing with a very credible individual, and I think that distant history bears little relevance to the fact that he has a very distinguished career. If we're suggesting just because at some point in history he was appointed by a former Conservative Prime Minister that he should be disqualified from participating in public life, I think that is a little bit extreme. This is a very qualified individual, and frankly, I haven't heard anybody question his integrity, and I have no reason to do for that, Mr. Speaker.
You can hear Freeland squeaking in the back.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition. Order. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Which is another reason that it is so tragic that that Prime Minister has destroyed the reputation. Of the Trudeau Foundation in this terrible position and surrounding him with Liberal staffers, Liberal donors, and Liberal lawyers. He has ruined the perceived objectivity, caused a conflict of interest, one that he could reverse anytime. Why will the Prime Minister not put an end to the charade, launch a full public inquiry now?
Right, Honourable.
That's what everybody wants.
Mr. Speaker, as the Leader of the Opposition formerly said, David Johnston is a man of integrity, and when I chose to appoint him to be an independent expert, I didn't hold against him the fact that he had been appointed by Conservatives past. I knew that his judgment was top-notch, and that is what he has demonstrated every step of the way. The judgment that is in question is the judgment of the Leader of the Opposition, who continues to refuse to get briefed up on top secret matters that would allow him to understand what's actually going on in foreign interference instead of making baseless personal attacks.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, it's no longer just me that's pointing out that deficits cause inflation. It's the former Liberal Finance Minister, John Manley, who says this government is putting its foot on the inflationary gas while the Bank of Canada is slamming its foot on the brakes by raising interest rates on Canadians. There are literally hundreds of thousands of families who took on big mortgages when interest rates were artificially low that will face massive increases in their monthly payments when they come for renewal if rates don't get back down. So will the Prime Minister balance the budget to bring down inflation and interest rates so that Canadians can keep their homes?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister. Minister.
In the name of austerity, the Conservative Party continues to filibuster and block our measures.
I'm just going to interrupt. We're starting to build up again. Yesterday was such a nice day. I just want to repeat. Everybody continue.
That's not good that we're already getting into this.
If they're too big, then Google them. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition, or sorry, the Right Honourable Prime Minister, from the top, please.
Mr. Speaker, the Conservative Party continues its focus on austerity and cuts rather than being there to help Canadians. They are blocking and using parliamentary games to hurt Canadians who need help right now. He's busy blocking an anti-flipping tax for residential properties to help out homeowners. He's blocking the doubling of tradespeople's tools deduction at a time where we know we need our tradespeople.
Why does he need his script?
Delivering new housing across the country, and he's even blocking the Enhanced Canada Workers Benefit. His partisan games are hurting Canadians. When will he let BIA pass?
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Families are already facing austerity, and families have to make cuts themselves into the amount of food they can eat and other activities that their families would like to do. What we are blocking is the $60 billion of inflationist deficit that has fueled interest rate rises. Even the Minister for Finance admitted that deficits put oil and fuel on the inflationist fire. Will the Honourable Prime Minister finally listen to his own Finance Minister, and will he stop to add fuel to the inflationist fire?
I can't believe the House Speaker told him to Google it.
Mr. Speaker,
that's hilarious.
Ridiculous words again. He's accusing us of austerity whilst accusing us of investing too much. That's ridiculous. Just like what the Leader of the Official Opposition is doing now is blocking measures that will help Canadians now, like an anti-flipping tax, like a measure to double deductions for tools, and against strengthening worker benefits. He voted to block dental care for children. He voted to block help for low-income renters. The Honourable Member for Bailey-Chambly, Mr. Speaker, the not-so-independent rapporteur tabled a preliminary report, much to the satisfaction of the Prime Minister. To do so, he did not speak to the Chief Electoral Officer. He did not speak to the Elections Commissioner. He spoke to no one from the Chinese diaspora that have been victims of bullying and intimidation. And then, with great wisdom, he decided that a public inquiry was not necessary. Mr. Speaker, who did David Johnston actually talk to at the end of the day? The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
We would love to know that answer, wouldn't we?
I know full well that the Leader of the Bloc Québécois looks forward to David Johnston's tour of the country to talk to the Chinese diaspora that has been affected by interference. But the Bloc Québécois is choosing ignorance on the matter by refusing to accept briefings, top-secret briefings from intelligence bodies on the content of reports and on reports from our intelligence organizations. He can continue to do unfounded partisan attacks, but he needs to read the facts. The Honourable Member for Bailey-Chambly. Mr. Speaker, when I talked about the Prime Minister's ignorance, there was a point of order. But I think that David Johnston talked to the Trudeau Foundation. It's better among friends, after all. I think that the rapporteur spoke to the Prime Minister, but we don't know if this was to actually do any rapporting at all. This morning, he explained that an investigative inquiry would be too long and would be too costly. It's quicker and cheaper to keep secrets at the end of the day. Mr. Speaker, was Mr. Johnston's true mandate to simply put a lid on this entire story of foreign interference? The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
The Bloc is so aggressive.
Mr. Speaker, the Leader of the Bloc Québécois perhaps would be a bit more credible when it comes to keeping secrets if he were to accept information that would lead him to hear about the facts about foreign interference. He refuses to allow our intelligence officers to give him the necessary information so that he can truly understand what is happening when it comes to foreign interference. He chose ignorance. He did not choose facts. For such a serious matter, this shows us that he is not serious at all. The honourable member for...
Thanks for watching the video to the very end. If you'd like to subscribe, I've made it very easy. You can do so by clicking right there. If you'd like to watch another House of Commons highlight clip, you can do so by clicking right there. And if you'd like to subscribe to my main channel, Mistersunshinebaby, where it's all Canadian political news, then you can do so by tapping up there. Subscribing is absolutely free. There's a button down below that says subscribe. If you'd like to join and become a member and financially contribute, you could do so as well. Thank you so much for watching this video.